I guess I'm going to go ahead and start putting moss on this thing just a little bit. That's what I was thinking, that it's 7 there. Okay. I'm going to be doing a skeleton though and putting just like a little bit of flowers on him. And then I have another thing, that way if I finish early, I just have, you know, the regular stuff from the Dollar Tree. And then I love this. It's reindeer moss, I think. Yeah. I like the sponginess of it, and I love the color too. So I like to use it. It's real pretty in the spring, but stuff like this, I like the way that it looks. That I'm not going to put on this because it's going like up in the skeleton. I'll save it for the outside of it. And I'm trying to cover more this part. The way that I'm sliding it in, all this I think will be covered with flowers, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I am, hopefully he may not look right, but I'm going to put him up on a shelf type thing is what I'm thinking. So that way you can kind of see up in there. I'm so bad about not saying him. Lindsay would be happy cottage. Hey, Stephanie. How are you doing? Okay, so somewhere along the way through the years, he's lost a leg, so I call him Sir Hops a lot. I thought I had found it. I'm thinking it's in the Halloween tote. I went like through all my fall totes and was separating stuff out to where I wanted it in the house to kind of get a feel of, oh, thank you. Oh, I enjoyed your pumpkins. I know, I almost put something about, yeah, I'm doing something tomorrow. Hopefully I don't pull a poo-poo. If y'all don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, so Jan tried to do a pumpkin stem out of clay. Let's just say lots of jokes were made, and it wasn't quite getting to where she wanted it to be. And her laugh is contagious, and so she went hysterical laughing, and it was funny. But, oh, I separated all of my stuff, and I thought I had found his leg, and so I don't know if it's in one of my totes out there or where it went. I may put a flower on the bottom, but I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of moss just in case it's not covered. Good morning, Nadia. I'm making your favorite thing. I told them, I said, I've had him for a long time, and the kids, I think one year we may have taken the legs off, and my mom and I did like a scavenger hunt for the kids, and so we had a grave, and we buried like some of the bones sticking out and stuff. So I call him Sir Hops a lot. Hey, Eileen. But yeah, I picked up on you're not real big for the little skeletons. That cracks me up. That witch mask thing that Heather made, I was like, man, if somehow you could make that where it like, because the eyes on it were creepy, if that could like kind of pop out and be like, I'm going to get you my little pretties or something, that'd be hysterical. Growing up, my grandparents decorated a lot for all of the holidays and everything, and so did my mom. But at my grandparents' house, they had like this ghost and stuff, and it was out, oh my gosh, the glue strings. I don't know what is wrong with my glue. I mean, it always has a little bit, but it seems worse. Not when it's looking at me and making me run away. Okay, I'll cover his face up for you. They had, though, like a ghost, and I can't remember what else they had. I just remember the ghost because my grandpa put a walkie-talkie type thing in it and like did where the handle stayed down or no, I guess he would talk into it. Anyways, he put a walkie-talkie and he would talk into it when the kids would come up for trick-or-treating, or if he knew we were coming over, he would get it and talk in it and stuff. And it was really funny watching the kids, like the trick-or-treaters come up. And then my uncle dressed, I think, like a scarecrow, and my grandma had a bunch of scarecrows, and he like sat down by a tree and had his hat kind of down, and so people kind of thought he was a stuffed scarecrow. He did like the stuff coming out, and he would jump up and stuff. We always had fun with all that. My grandma really liked Halloween and dressing up. I'm wanting that up in there more. Yeah. See, here where I live, everybody has, like, we have almost an acre. You know, we don't have, like, a lot, but then my parents are a couple doors over. That just shot across the room. It's okay. I'll get it in a little bit. I wasn't expecting that, though. My parents have, like, 2 acres. And the man next door has a little less than us, but there's a lot of people in this, you know, it's a real small neighborhood. It's kind of like a big circle, and then there's like a street that goes one way and then one that goes another. A lot of them have like land. And so everybody has fences, and a lot of them have real big dogs, and there's horses. And so it's not really an area that you like go trick-or-treating in. So I've never really done stuff outside or done anything. A few times we've gone to like another neighborhood with my kids or something, but I mean, that, like, it almost hit my son on the couch. That seriously shot across the room. Okay. I have some succulents, and I was playing with them a little bit last night because I wasn't 100%. Do I want the whole thing covered? Do I want one side covered? And I was trying to gather up flowers. I need to get like a little bucket that I can just push stuff off into. Sometimes I just kind of knock it on the floor and then I sweep when I'm done, but I'm gonna hold on to him, make sure he don't shoot off too. Okay, so I'm wanting him to look like he's been left, kind of doing like witchy stuff. This is kind of one of their victims, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't say that. And kind of overgrown. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to add a little bit of moss up there. And these, I think I got, I don't want him in here. I think Target, like that dollar spot. I do pretty not scary, scary enough, whatever. And he is missing. Yes, that's why it's called Sir Hops-a-Lot. I don't know where his leg went. I've had him for a really long time. I have another one. We actually had to, like, you know, take a leg off of one because he actually was missing a full leg and part of one. I really think we like buried it for a scavenger hunt or something, so it's probably in one of my totes. So we had to kind of take apart one because the other one's missing his arms. But my kids were playing with him too, so there's no telling where they're at. Okay. And I'm trying to keep everything kind of growing off this way. I may do like one succulent over here, one up there, and then I plan on adding moss kind of on here. And this, I mean, it is plasticky, but you know, for stuff like this, it's not bad. And I got it for $1 at Dollar General. I don't know if it was out in the springtime. I hit a different one the other day than I normally do, and they had just like different little bits, and I was finding like one or two of things. I did put just like a little bit of antique wax on them this morning too, just to kind of dull them down a little bit. Okay. Sometimes he sits and then he starts popping over. I know when I sit him up on my shelf, I'm going to have to, like, you know, prop him a little bit. I'm just shooting those all over the place today. Okay. Do you want to add in a little bit more of this before I get into the flower part of it? I don't mind like spooky, creepy, but oh, hi Lucky Crafts. I don't know your name. I don't like gory, I guess. Like, I don't mind spooky, creepy, but I don't like gore type stuff. Like, I love mysteries and a little bit scary, but I don't do any of the torture or gore. Like, I don't, no. I would have loved to have been like a detective, but knowing what you have to do and see, I couldn't do that. Not to mention, like, I don't know how you have to keep your composure and your calm on certain situations, and I don't think I would, especially when it comes to kids. Like, try to, if he'll work with me here, try to turn him some. Okay. I'm going to cut a longer piece of that because that kind of got lost. Smaller. Oh, that doesn't look smaller. Sometimes on those hydrangeas, there's like smaller pieces. Not wanting to cover his face up, so like that. It's going to be easier to lay him down. Yeah, today is a full lineup till I think 8 o'clock. Or the last lady goes on at 8. And one thing, the times are all Eastern. See that just a little bit sticking out there. Okay. And then I have, this succulent over here. Kind of like that though, the way it's curling off both sides. Okay, here's that one. I was like, I know I have another one. And this I may have to glue up in here. I don't know. He's going to shove through the way I want it. I don't know what kind. Sorry, y'all can't see. I don't know what kind he is on the succulents, but I really like those. And I like the color of it too. I don't know if that's like natural or not, but I like it. Okay. That way the green's just kind of coming up a little bit on that side. And then I want to add just like a little bit of moss. And I love this, the reindeer moss. So I'm going to put some of that on him. Try to scoop those out of the way. I have a cornucopia that I'm going to do in my fall tree. I want a little bit smaller pieces. So I think I'm going to do that next. I went ahead and grabbed that. Playing with him a little bit last night, trying to figure out the flowers and if it was too big or not. I love succulents too. I think they're so cool. And they are like a year round for me. Like, well, maybe not Christmas, but the rest of the year I use them. I love them with pumpkins. I have this pumpkin that's metal, and so it's just kind of like a frame type thing, and I put succulents and pumpkins like in the middle of it, and then I have them pouring out down my table. Probably won't do that this year with what I'm doing, but I've done that several times and I really like the way they look. Okay, I like that. And then I want to get just a little bit on his legs. I was trying to see if I had another succulent or something that I could put. What are y'all doing? Coco, you better not have said what I think you just said.
What?
Were you mean? Okay. What are y'all doing? Y'all are whispering, but I can kind of hear you, so. I thought you said something not nice to your brother. I didn't grow up with siblings, and sometimes the love-hate relationship it's for real, and I have to, like, I know it's kind of normal and it's kind of teaching them, but there's certain things like I don't, if they say certain things that are mean, like, no, you're not going to talk to anybody like that. But some of the fighting stuff when they were like younger, I really got onto them a lot, and I felt like super stressed all the time, and I was like watching other people and I'm like, I guess that's normal, like that they sometimes they're loving on each other one minute and the next minute they're like wanting to pulverize each other. Which I had a cousin and we were kind of like that, but he was younger than me and then being a boy, and so I just kind of thought that was the reason. You're making little bows. Is it for like fake bake stuff or for your gnomes? A mama's ears here. Yeah, unfortunately. Sometimes I wish I could just like, I mean, I do kind of tune them out on one hand, and then on the other hand, I don't. Like if I can tell it's just like playing and stuff, I did learn to tune that out where I didn't constantly like feel like I was running, you know, figuring out what was going on. I kind of wonder, on his head, I kind of want to do moss on his head. Wait, did you say you're an only child? Yes, I have a half sister. We have the same dad, but like I grew up with my mom and my stepdad, who is my dad to me. And so I have step siblings, but I didn't really grow up around them, so I never felt like I have had a sibling. Even now, like my sister will say she's an only child. Like we both grew up, you know, not having really a sibling that you grow up with. It's kind of weird sometimes because I will say I'm an only child because in my head I am, and then at certain points I'll be talking and I'll say something about my sister, and my friend was like, wait a second, I thought you were an only child. I'm like, yes, but I do technically have a half sister. It's kind of a weird, you know, and like you feel bad or whatever, but she one time kind of said, you know, she does the same thing. It's just, you know, it's one of those things. Okay. Kind of like that. I kind of want to do a little bit of darker moss with them. Both only kids, and we have 3 boys. I know. Let's see, you can have that. There's butterscotch in there too if you want one of those. Did you eat breakfast? Okay. Yes, you can too. It's so funny if one of them asks something, you know the other ones are coming. Like, well, can I too? Can I have that too? Sometimes I'm mean. I'm like, no, you can't have it. I love him more. No, I don't say that. They look, I do say that, no, you can't have it. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, y'all know if one gets it, the other ones get it too. Why do y'all even ask? My youngest is in this phase of, you know I'm your favorite. You know I'm your favorite. So can I do this or can I do that? And I'm like, absolutely not. And I don't do favorites. Like, I don't know. And then I heard him telling my husband the same thing. You know I'm your favorite. And we're like, what? No? That's not how it works. Sorry. It is kind of hard with the baby though, like knowing that's your last one, because all my kids are 2.5 years apart, and so I just felt like I went from like baby to basically almost potty training, being pregnant to baby to, you know what I mean? It just and so there's certain things like I kind of missed out a little bit with my like oldest and youngest. I mean, on one hand, yes, and one hand, no. I felt like I was so busy though with a toddler and a baby. And you do kind of realize how fast it goes with your youngest. And you're like trying to cling to them being little, and you kind of have to realize, okay, they're not a baby anymore. They're not even a little anymore, and it's kind of depressing. All of them. Like my middle one turns 13 next summer, so I'll have 2 teenagers, and that's just weird to me. I'm like, there are no favorites. I punished. Exactly. Okay, so I think he's done, and of course I always go back and tweak stuff, and once I, you know, start putting it on the shelf and actually decorating with it, I may do something different. I think you can see him. Yeah, you can see him. So I like the way he turned out though. He's a little bit creepy, but I like the florals on him.